Ladies and gentlemen, after 9 months of not seeing the Chicago Bulls play a game of basketball, it was finally time to witness the Bulls in action today, and there are a lot of things to discuss. Now, people might be pressing the panic button after one game of the preseason. There are a few things that have definitely taken notice, especially on the defensive end. But I will say that we have to be patient as a fan base. I know it's going to be tough. I know people are going to go very reactionary tonight. But this is my first and hopefully many more game recaps, game reactions to talk about. So without further ado, let's talk about the Houston Rockets and the Chicago Bulls and my personal opinion on the game right now. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aiden Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today, we've got a Chicago Bulls versus Houston Rockets, the very first game of preseason game review, or game reaction, I guess I should say. I'm not really reviewing the game, but this game has a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and definitely a lot of people will come into this after this game being very negative, considering the way that we lost, how we lost, and of course who we lost to. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aiden Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below who was your player of the game, because there were a few players out there you could probably say had player of the game moments, and also who was the standout player for you. Who was the player when you watched them tonight you thought, wow. And there are some players that I thought should get a lot of credit in today's game, but with that being said, we did lose the game in significant fashion. The scoreline was 125 to 104. Before I go into any specific players, I want to talk about how I believe the Bulls played today, and let me know in the comments below if you agree. So around the first half, especially when we had our starters on in the team, I definitely felt like our offense was a little bit smoother. But again, there is still rustiness within this team. I mean, we haven't played for 9 months. The Rockets was a team that played in the bubble. So obviously the levels of where the Rockets are, where the Bulls are right now, it's a big key indicator. And I think the Rockets definitely took advantage of that. But with the Bulls, we seem to be a team that is actually having movement in the front end. Now, on the offense, despite the movement, there were a lot of things that I saw that really put me back into a situation where we were watching a Jim Boylan basketball team. And that's not going to be fixed overnight. We saw some plays where we moved the ball, where we cut, where we allowed players to dribble, where we allowed players to take open shots. But then we also saw give it to Zach and see what happens. We saw both of those things today. So we need to be able to rectify these things. It's going to take time. It's not going to be an easy process. I mean, watching the Chicago Bulls with Jim Boylan for the last 2 years and then just quickly changing to a Billy Donovan style of offense will not be a smooth transition, in my opinion. It's something that's going to be worked on. But the offense is going to get there. With the Bulls, I have no worries about our offensive game. I saw a lot of Larry Marketing. Finally, Larry Marketing was putting the ball dribbling the ball. Finally, he was dribbling the ball, and he was able to actually get some open layups, make some threes. He opened this game so much, and I think with more minutes, again, most players on this team got around 25 to 20 minutes in this game. Larry Marketing had around 24 minutes in this game. Got, I believe, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Again, I'll show the stats on the screen, but it's not even about that with Larry Marketing. It's the fact that I wanted to be confident enough to go up in the paint. I wanted to be confident enough to take a dribble, to take a mid-range. In the very first possession with Larry Marketing in the corner, he pump faked the guy, and the guy saw the pump fake. Then he took a dribble in, and he could have either had a layup or a mid-range shot, but he passed it out to the corner when there was no need to do it. But every other time, he seemed very confident. He took the ball up and he got his buckets. So I thought Larry Marketing was definitely a standout. And I think offensively, that's what we need to do more of. We need to be able to be diverse. We need to be able to take the shots that we need. And I think a lot of our starters today actually did do a very good job on the offensive end. I saw a lot of transition in the defense in terms of we played a little bit of zone in the first quarter. But ultimately, the defense was the biggest frowning point in tonight's game. The defense was abysmal for many people. I mean, the Rockets had, I believe, more than 33 pointers in this game, and that's something that you should simply not allow in the NBA in general. Now, the Rockets are going to shoot many threes, but they made so many of them today, and a lot of them were very wide open from pick and pops, just basically standing there and shooting. And these are things we need to be able to prevent as a team. I mean, the defensive side of the game today, despite there were some few key highlights, but for the most part, it was very lackluster, and it was very underwhelming. I think we missed some perimeter defense in this game. We missed Chris Dunn and Shaquille Harrison in this game today, and that's something that you don't want to say when you have this bright upcoming team to, I guess, take you to the next step. So with that being said, the defense was definitely a side of the game that needs to be worked on, needs to be improved. I want to see more defensive presence in the next game against the Rockets. I want to see us actually try on defense. I feel like, especially towards the end of the game, we simply didn't try on defense because the game was already lost. Now, that's all the things that I did notice in this game. I'm going to now go into individual players, and I want to talk about players that I believe had a good game and players that I think needs to work on their game, and give my player of the game at the end of this video. So, players that I thought had a good game. In the starting lineup, I thought Larry Markkinen had a fantastic game. I thought Kobe White really came alive in the second quarter and got a lot of his buckets in the second quarter, actually. First quarter, not so much. I think Zach LaVine was good, but again, the off-ball defense is something that is really concerning. He got 3 fouls from allowing his man to get past him in the off-ball defense. That's something that he needs to work on. I think we all know that he needs to work on that. It's no real surprise that Zach LaVine off-ball in the defensive side is just not a good player right now. But again, offensively, Zach LaVine did his thing. Off the bench, I really enjoyed Patrick Williams. I mean, Patrick Williams, as the first game of your NBA career, you have 12 points. I thought Patrick Williams was sensational today. I mean, honestly, he was very comfortable in his shots. He took steps in to take a mid-range. I don't think he missed a mid-range shot today. It seemed very professional, like a professional jump shot. He took his time with it. He didn't rush anything. I thought Patrick Williams was a great player. Satoransky off the bench, I thought had a fantastic game. Played 25 minutes, got 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Very good game for Satoransky. And I think Daniel Gafford also had a decent game, but something that I have to say about Daniel Gafford is to slow down. Every single time he tried to force something to happen. Forcing yourself into a bucket is not always the right answer, especially on this team where we have a lot of offensive threats. We need to see a little bit more passing of the ball. Don't just get a rebound, or not even just dribble in and take a post shot. I understand Daniel Gafford is trying very hard to get a spot on this team, trying very hard to get a post game and all these things, but I feel like with Daniel Gafford, slow the game down for him. I feel like that's something that needs to come to him, and I think over the season we'll see a better Daniel Gafford. He did catch a lob today, but yeah, that's the game for the Chicago Bulls, pretty much, the individual players. Moving on to the players that I think did not have a fantastic game. First things first, Wendell Carter had 4 points and 7 rebounds. I thought Wendell Carter looked a step slow today. It seems like, yes, he did have a very good piece in the game where he got 2 offensive rebounds and he slam dunked the ball. That was great to see from Wendell Carter. Wasn't that much in the offense. He took some threes, which is good to see. He took them very comfortably as well. And one day, we'll see when that day is, he'll be making those, and that will be very good for us. And then all of a sudden, he's a great offensive player. But today, he looked a step slow. It seems like every time he didn't get a rebound, it's like he gave up on the play. I want to see a better game from Wendell Carter in the next game, and I think that's the only one I'm going to target specifically for this game, because I think he definitely needs to have improvements for the next game. This was definitely not a good start in the preseason for him. Look, 7 rebounds is not bad, especially with the amount of minutes that he played, but I think he got bullied by Boogie Cousins for most of that game, and for the most part, it looked like he was disinterested. So, my personal opinion there, again, I'm sure he's not disinterested, but he just looked like it, and I want to see more improvements in that area. The player of the game for me, The player of the game for me was Tomas Satoransky. I mean, had a near triple-double in this game, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, very good shooting off the bench, 3-pointers, threw some lobs today. I thought he was a fantastic player today. And again, the minutes were spread evenly, so of course, I'm not surprised that Zach LaVine didn't get the first player of the game for this game. Larry Markkinen probably is a contender for that, and I think a lot of people will pick Larry Markkinen for this, because he also had a steal, and I think he had 2 steals on a block today as well. So people will say Larry Markkinen, but I think it was Tomas Satoransky, to be honest. There are just some things in this game, like him off the bench, in my opinion, could be something serious if he shoots the way that he shoots today, and if he's steady, if he plays like that on a consistent basis, having a near triple-double every game off the bench, it could be a good thing for us. But ultimately, we are now 0-1 in the preseason. We have 4 games to talk about. This is the first one out of the way. I want to try and make this a little bit shorter. It's nearly 10 minutes now, but I do apologize for that. Again, it's a work in process. It's the very first one that I'm doing. I thought that this game has a lot left to desire. I feel like people will not be happy. I do have to encourage patience, because again, there are many situations that made this game the way that it was. Obviously, the Rockets, a lot of those players were in the bubble. The bubble ended, what, 2 months ago, 3 months ago? We haven't played for 9 months. So that is a key area where I'm not too fussed about today's performance. But for the next game, we have to make it closer. We've got a game in the bank now. A lot of our players had some rest as well, and I was impressed with Patrick Williams personally, but this game was definitely not a positive on the defensive end. Defensive end needs to improve, and I want to see the game a little bit closer. I don't want to see the Rockets making 33s on us. That's something that should not be allowed to happen. I understand some of them were very contested, but most of them were open. So defensively, we need to improve. And if we don't improve defensively, we're in for a rough season. So hopefully the Chicago Bulls, Billy Donovan, can see that, and we can make steps to get that better. But that's it for this game recap, game reaction. Most of the Rockets players had a good game. Gerald Green had a good game. Eric Gordon had a good game. So I'm not really going to go much in depth with the Houston Rockets, but the threes were the big thing in this game. And also, when they weren't hitting threes, they were attacking the paint and getting layups with ease. So big improvements that we need to make on that defensive side. We played some zone, but ultimately it just wasn't good enough to keep the Rockets out of the scoring groove. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments below how you thought about this game. Did you think that we have any positives to take out of this game? And who was your player of the game? Mine is Tomas Satoransky. A lot of people might pick Larry Markkinen. A lot of people might pick Kobe White or Zach LaVine or Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams had a fantastic game as well. It could have been divided for anybody, but in my opinion, it was definitely Satoransky for me. Have a wonderful and safe day, all Chicago Bulls fans. Got another game in 2 days' time against the Houston Rockets. Let's make it closer. Let's actually compete, and let's see where we are with a game under our belt. Let's see if we can make strides for the next one. Take care, and peace.